Hey everyone, so this is a story time about the time I got yelled at over some coupons at Sears. So, in summer of 2017, I left San Jose, went back to Sacramento for the summer, and I got a job working at Sears as a cashier. And it was kind of scary for me because I had never worked in retail before. I had never worked as a cashier before, but I had worked in like customer service and worked with people because I worked at the escape room. So I was very used to like transactions with money occasionally and, greeting people. And so at Sears, it was really fun. I had met a lot of cool people, and every day there was definitely something different. There would always be some sort of craziness or something exciting happening or someone doing something in the store. So, this particular situation, I was working at night and I can't remember who was working with me, but I had other coworkers there. And at this particular Sears, they were going out of business basically. And a lot of Sears all over the US have gone out of business or are currently going out of business. And this one was. It took a while for it actually to go out of business, but everything in the store was on sale. So everywhere you would look, you would see on sale signs, which made things very confusing because people would try to say something was on sale and it wasn't. But also, it was short staffed. So the only cashier or cash register open was in the men's department. So in the women's department, it was never open, never had it open. And the men's department was the only one that had it open. So we always had long lines because of that. And so I was working at night and it's a long line. I'm scanning in, I'm helping people, what I normally do. And then this man and this woman walk up. And I feel like everything's normal, right? Everything's normal. I'll give a descriptor of them. And they are both African American. The woman is very short. The man's kind of tall, but not taller than me. So he's probably my height, like 5'7". And I'm helping them, I'm scanning their stuff in, whatever. And then the man says to me, he's like, are there coupons today? And I was like, oh, yeah. Sometimes when they print out, they're for today or they're for the next day. But you just have to see when it prints out. So how the coupons worked at our Sears was that they printed out with every single receipt. So it was a definite waste of paper. But with every receipt, you had like maybe 4 coupons that printed out for that individual, that shopper. And sometimes it would be next day or it would be the day of that they could use it. And so I told the man that, they might print out, it might be next day or it might be for today. And then he was like, oh, I've been shopping here for a long time. I know how the coupons work. And then I responded nicely and I was like, oh, yeah, just, things change and sometimes the coupons are different. And he was visibly getting kind of irritated with me. And I barely had even, responded. I had just said, yeah, could be next day, could be the same day. And then I went back to scanning in his merchandise, the stuff that he had bought. And for a little second, I thought, okay, conversation's over. Everything's fine. Then he says, it's so nice when we learn things. Learning things is so nice. And I was like, oh, what are we learning? And I'm telling you, everyone who's listening, I wasn't saying that sarcastically. I didn't say it in a rude way. I was being so serious because when he said that, I was very confused. I had no idea what he was talking about because he was talking about, oh, it's so nice when we learn things and this and that. And I was like, huh? So I said, oh, what are we learning? And then he responds, oh, about the coupons, about the coupons. And I was like, sir, I'm aware that sometimes the coupons can be the same day, but sometimes they're next day. Like, basically, he was trying to say that it's so nice that I got a chance to learn something new about the coupons. When in reality, I didn't learn anything. I worked there. He didn't work there. I don't care how long he was shopping there. He didn't actually work there. I did. And I was still being super nice. And I was like, sir, I totally understand. And mind you, there's a woman with him. And at this moment, she isn't saying anything. She's just looking at me crazy. Like looking at me like she wants to fight me. But I'm not really paying much attention to her because I'm talking to the man that's right in front of me that's buying the stuff. And so when I say that, all of a sudden, I promise you, out of nowhere, she's like, you need to just be quiet. You just need to hush. You're always talking. You always got something to say. You're not that cute. And I'm telling you, I just stood there and I looked at her. Crazy. I kind of like squinted my eyes. And my eyes already look squinted already. But I squinted them even more. Because I was so confused. I thought, did I miss something? Did I miss something? And she's just saying, you need to be quiet. You talk too much. You do too much. And I'm looking at my coworkers that are looking at me crazy. People in line are looking at me crazy. And not crazy in the way like I did something wrong, but crazy like they have confused looks on their faces and they're just wondering why the woman is reacting like that. Because everyone could see that I was just kind of just being normal, just there, existing. And the man and the woman were the ones that were kind of hyped. And so she's doing all that. And I'm thinking in my head, like, when did I ever say I was cute? When did I even act like any certain way that made you think that I thought I was cute or that I thought I was better? This is what I'm thinking in my head. And so literally I just looked at her like she was crazy and she was looking at me like I was crazy when she probably was the one that actually is crazy. And while she's going on her little rant and I'm just staring at her, the man isn't saying anything. Oh, and something I almost forgot. The woman was calling the man daddy. And I'm not at all sure about what the nature of the relationship was, but she looked like she was older than him. So for a second, when they first approached me and she's calling him daddy, I'm thinking, is this her father? But there was no way. I mean, I guess that could have been the case, but she was calling him daddy, and that's what I know, you know? That's what I know. So I don't know if she was upset that I was disrespecting her daddy in whatever way that means, but I do remember that she was calling him that. And so, like I said, he wasn't saying anything. I wasn't saying anything. People in line are just looking. She's going on her rant. And then I just look back at him and I'm just like scanning his stuff in. And I was like, oh, do you have Shop Your Way rewards? And Shop Your Way rewards is something that Sears had. And it's like a rewards program. And the more you shop, the more points you get. And you can use those points for your purchase to make the price lower. And so people have to put in their passcode, which is usually their zip code. So while she's going on her little rant, I'm totally ignoring her. I'm not responding to her. And he's not even saying anything to her. And I ask him about the rewards program and does he have any points? And he's like, oh, no, I probably don't have any. And then I was like, oh, go ahead and check. People are always surprised by the points that they actually have. So he puts it in. Turns out he has $7 in points. I apply it. He saves $7. So basically, I just had these two people coming at me so oddly, loudly, for no reason. And yet, I still help the man get money off. And that's just how nice I am. And so I help him with that. And for some reason, when I did that, because I wasn't reacting, I guess, the way that he wanted me to, or at least the way she wanted me to, he could see, like, okay, maybe we're in the wrong. So he kind of, like, calmed down and kind of nicened up. I mean, he wasn't hyped or anything. She was. But he was trying to get on me about the whole coupon thing. And he kind of, like, changed his tone after I helped him. And then I just, like, let them go on their way very quickly. Because at that point, I was like, okay, you both need to just go out of the store as soon as possible. You got your stuff. You got your money off. Cool. Great. And so I was praying. I was absolutely praying that that would be the last time that I would ever have to see her or that man. But life doesn't work like that. So I remember another time I was working, and it was in the daytime because this whole incident had happened at night. And it was happening at night, and I was like, I just want to go home. Like, I just want to go home. And so another day I was working, and it was in the daytime, and I was working at the cash register, scanning, helping people, giving receipts, taking money, what a cashier does. And everything's good until I look at the line and I see that man. And I thought in my mind, oh no, never again. Will not happen. Because I just did not want to have to deal with that man. I was kind of embarrassed because of the previous interaction. Even though I didn't really do anything, the whole thing embarrassed me. It was very embarrassing. And I didn't want to see him. And I didn't want to deal with him because I felt like he and his daughter maybe kind of just went overboard. And I didn't have to deal with that ever again. And so I wasn't the only cashier working at the registers. But, when there's a line and there's only 2 cash registers, actually there were 3. You don't know who's going to end up where. And where he was in line, he could have ended up with me. So basically, I made up some excuse to leave my register and go search for something. I think maybe my manager was nearby and I was like, oh, you want me to go check on this? I'm going to go check on that. And I got up and booked it because I was like, I don't want to deal with him. I don't want to deal with him. And he saw me, right? He was looking at me and I was like, he's come back to kill me. He's come back to fight me. That little woman is hiding somewhere and she wants to hurt me. That's what I was thinking in my head. So I booked it off and went around a corner and I didn't actually go do what I said I was going to do. I just hid and was looking at the registers in the line to see when he left. And then someone else helped him. And then he was on his way. And I waited a little bit and then I went back to the line. And then I was talking to my coworker and I was like, yeah, I had a weird run-in with that man and some woman. And I was like, I didn't want to have to help him because it was so awkward. Because I don't think that coworker was actually there that night. But that was just a crazy situation. And there are so many stories I have about working at Sears. Anyone who works in retail just knows. It's a crazy experience. It's very funny. It can be very fun, draining, and very weird at times. People are really crazy when it comes to the stuff that they're trying to buy or all the stuff like that. So I have so many stories about Sears, but that was one of the ones that stood out to me. And it definitely wasn't the first time or last time someone yelled at me. But it really stood out to me because I thought it was so crazy. It was just over some coupons. And when the woman was going off on me, she was going off on me as if I was talking back and being disrespectful. And I thought that maybe because I was a Black woman and she was too, and he was a Black man, I felt that she thought it was appropriate to just talk down to me like I was her niece or something. Because she was saying, you can't talk back, you do too much. And I'm thinking, you don't know me. I am a stranger to you. You can't just talk to me like that. But I didn't say that. I just let her talk to me like that. But it was so weird. Honestly, I don't know what was going on with that lady. Maybe she was crazy or something. Oh, and also something I forgot. She literally left. So when I was ignoring her and she was going off, she literally acted like she just couldn't handle it anymore. It was too much. I was so disrespectful. She literally just stormed off and left. And I literally forgot to mention that part because that's when it was just he and I. And that's when I was helping him, save money with the rewards program. And then his whole tone changed because she had left. But he never even addressed anything that she said or that he said. It kind of just ended. And so that's my story time about the time that I got yelled at over some coupons.